Belize moves to decriminalize marijuana. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Tuesday, August 22. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. The government of Belize has taken legislation to Parliament to amend the Misuse of Drugs Act. If the amendments are passed, it would no longer be illegal to have up to 10 grams of marijuana. In certain circumstances, smoking marijuana on private property would also no longer be an offense. The amendment also provides for monetary and non-recordable penalties for possession of the drug on school premises. Foreign Affairs Minister Wilfred Earlington applauded the move, saying the existing legislation is unduly prejudicial against the poor in society.
This bill has long been in gestation. I think it is recognized by members on both sides of this House that the present regime which we have dealing with marijuana is not equitable. As a matter of fact, it is the view that it is unduly prejudicial, particularly to the poorer members of our society who, for one reason or the other, use marijuana in smaller quantities. And this is a small step towards ameliorating what we consider to be an injustice over the years perpetrated against our people.
The amendments come 5 years after the first proposals were made and 3 years after an officially constituted committee was set up to review the matter. But Prime Minister Dean Barrow says this is just the beginning.
Clearly, it is only a first step and a small step, and I know there will be the naysayers. I suspect we're going to hear from the churches, but I feel both as a matter of conviction that it is something good to do, but also that the society as a whole, it is something that is likely to be controversial, certainly from the point of view of the churches. They have already, in the course of the exercise that the persons we had asked to look at this, in the course of the exercise they were doing, they've had some disagreements with the churches, so I don't think that would be fair to have tried to do it in that way.
Over in Jamaica, proposed regulations to govern the medicinal cannabis unit are being finalized and will be submitted to Cabinet soon. But even before then, the Ministry of Health is reporting that 80 people have already been trained and certified to prescribe medical marijuana. They include 39 physicians, 22 pharmacists, 17 employees of the National Council on Drug Abuse, and 2 scientific researchers. The proposed regulations go before Cabinet will stipulate, among other things, who may recommend or prescribe medicinal cannabis. They will also outline guidelines on the extraction of specific cannabis products for research and medicinal purposes. The Ministry of Health has also registered 9 medical cannabis products. Staying in Jamaica, the island's top cop is backtracking on his stance that he accepted a Jamaica Constabulary Report administrative review, which cleared 5 police officers of misconduct in the 2010 Tivoli Gardens West Kingston operation. The JCF review report questioned the integrity of the Commission of Inquiry, which identified the 5 senior officers as people who should not lead or participate in internal security operations. Now, Commissioner of Police George Collio says he accepts the report from the Commissioner of Inquiry. TVJ's Fashan Brown has the details.
The JCF has been under pressure to withdraw the report which cleared 5 officers against charges of dereliction of duty for their part in the 2010 operation. The review has been described as a slap in the face of the West Kingston inquiry, which had leveled the charges against the officers. The police commissioner had previously said he stood by the JCF's review report. Last week, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Dr. Horace Chang, said the government could not accept the JCF Review Committee's report. Following a meeting on Saturday with National Security Minister Robert Montague, Mr. Coelho released a statement. Mr. Coelho, in that release, said the JCF, as an arm of the state, remains in one accord with the government and accepts the report of the West Kingston Commission of Inquiry. The commissioner said it must never be construed that the police and the state are not in unison. He added that the JCF stands ready to accept fully the responsibility of its actions. He said the administrative review, which contains 8 recommendations, have been forwarded to the Police Services Commission. On Friday, the JCF issued a statement with the headline, Police Federation and the Police Officers Association stand with the Commissioner of Police, suggesting Mr. Coelho had the support of those groups for his stance on the controversial review report. The statement gave no details on the positions of the groups. According to the statement, during a meeting with the 2 groups, the police commissioner explained his public comments on the JCF Administrative Review Report. It said during the meeting, the commissioner explained that his position to stand by the review report meant he was satisfied with the process of review. The commissioner also explained that the review panel comprised experienced, technically sound and reputable citizens who were objective in their approach.
Trinidadian Shane Crawford has officially been listed on a United Nations terrorism sanctions list. A statement from the Office of the Attorney General on Monday said Crawford was put on the United Nations ISIL and Al-Qaeda sanctions list last Friday. That development followed a proposal submitted by the government to the UN Sanctions Committee, and that committee maintains a list of people and entities the United Nations and member countries target with financial sanctions. 5 months ago, Crawford was placed on a U.S. terror list. While there has been no confirmation, he was reported to have been killed in the Middle East late last year. Before that, he appeared in an ISIS recruitment video where he called on Muslims in Trinidad and Tobago to commit acts of violence against non-believers. Still in the Twin Island Republic, the government believes something went drastically wrong and crooked in the procurement of a vessel to service the sea bridge between Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley admitted to that on Monday as he was pressed by the media at a press conference following a 2-hour meeting with Tobago stakeholders. He said while the cabinet approved the charter agreements of the Ocean Flower 2 and Cabo Star vessels, he did not know who conducted the negotiations. In addition to saying he didn't think all was above board in the Ocean Flower 2 transaction, Rowley said he welcomed investigations into the matter.
Surprising failure of the arrival of the Ocean Flower, which did not pass muster to be able to provide us with the anticipated service. The port would be working overtime, going out using the widest spectrum of call wherever vessels are available, from owners and from brokers, to find an appropriate vessel in the shortest possible time.
With this search, however,
Prime Minister Rowley says the Port Authority has been ordered to expand its search for a new vessel in the shortest possible time to service the Trinidad and Tobago sea route. Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, Haiti's Ministry of Education uncovers a multi-million-dollar fraud involving dozens of school principals. Stay with us, there's more news after this break.
The government of Dominica and Discover Dominica Authority invite the world to the most unique and indigenous celebration of Creole cultures, the World Creole Music Festival, October 27th, 28th and 29th at the Windsor Sports Stadium, Roseau, Dominica, featuring Marshall Montano, Movado, Sweet Mickey, Itana, Roman Virgo, Class, Yemi Alade, Kai, Zuko Stars, Bunch and Fayan, Triple K International, Ace Banton and more. Visit the DominicaFestivals.com for more information. Say Musicano!
It's time to explore, to feel, to love. St. Kitts, everything you've ever dreamed of, and more than you could have ever imagined. It's time to follow your heart. St. Kitts.
Excuse me, listen, I hear something about that comedy show. What really is? What is?
It's all about Carrie Festa 2017!
Peoples, it's the Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th at the Sir Garfield Sober Gymnasium.
Andrew, what is that in your bag? A cat. A what? A cat. You bring a cat in my house?
Well, Daddy,
Take it back to your mother, please.
No, Daddy, I can't do that. Don't make me do that, please, Daddy.
Why?
I hear Uncle Ralph tell Mommy go eat it when he come back. The Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th, the Garfield Stobers Gymnasium. People, get your tickets from official box offices only.
Haiti's Ministry of Education has uncovered a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme involving 68 school principals. Education Minister Pierre Jesus Cadet said following an investigation by his ministry, more than 3 million gourds, which is about $48,000 were discovered missing. The funds had been paid in by students who had to resit the national exam. The minister said among these alleged in the fraud scheme were 4 ministry inspectors, a deputy mayor, and a pastor. Instead of actually depositing the funds to the National Credit Bank, the officials had submitted fake bank deposit receipts. Files containing information about the alleged fraud have been sent to the Office of the Secretary of State for Public Security for follow-up with the Government Commissioner. The coordinator of the General Directorate of the Ministry of Education, Jean-Nelson Pierre, said the school principals could be jailed. The government of Grenada is dismissing a report that a Ukrainian businessman was refunded $1 million after he failed to obtain a Grenada diplomatic passport. A Florida blogger, Kenneth Rijok, had made the allegation, he claimed in his blog post, that one of the approved marketing agents of Grenada's Citizenship by Investment program, Henley and Partners, received money in their Singapore account for the unnamed businessman in exchange for a Grenada diplomatic passport. But a statement from the Prime Minister's office dismissed the post as a total falsehood by a convicted criminal turned financial an analyst. It said the country does not sell diplomatic passports. In a separate statement, Henley and Partners said the allegations were completely without truth or foundation and hinted at taking legal action against the blogger. Grenada provides citizenship to foreign nationals under its Citizenship by Investment program in return for them making a substantial investment in the country's socio-economic development. Well, the first full day of activities at Carrie Festa 13 was nothing short of pure culture and entertainment. Festivities began with a visual arts exhibit, and the much talked about Grand Market continues to be a central point. Here's a roundup of some of the day's activities.
Activities for Carrie Festa 13 got underway on Monday with the opening of a visual arts exhibit at the Youth Village at the Barbados Community College. The exhibition was declared open by Assistant Secretary General in charge of Human and Social Development at the CARICOM Secretariat, Dr. Douglas Slater. It was attended by Festival Director Andrea Wells and Director Human Development at the CARICOM Secretariat, Ms. Myrna Bernard. The exhibitors came from countries across the region, including Anguilla, Bermuda, Barbados, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago. We caught up with the feature artist from Guyana, and this is what he had to say.
I do consider myself to be quite a patriotic Guyanese, wherever I go, I try to present the best face that Guyana can present. And whenever I'm out there and I see a Guyana flag flying there, you know that is what you represent. Good, and you want to stand quite as tall and quite as proud and flowing quite as smoothly, showing the best what Guyana can offer in
The Grand Market continued to be a hub of activity, with vendors and exhibitors putting their wares and talents on display. We spoke to some of them, and they were very happy to be representing their country at a regional cultural event.
The work that you see behind you is based on the research I did on those persons who sacrificed their lives to build the Panama Canal. My great-grandfather and my grandfather went to Panama to help build the canal there, and I did it as a part of my BFA course at the Barbados Community College.
I think you should try and make an effort. It's worldwide. You meet people from all walks of life in the Caribbean, you meet all different cultures. You learn a lot coming to CariFesta.
Over on the other side, we met with Dominic and we learned a little bit about their culture. We also met some other Caribbean islands and they tell us a little bit more like Montserrat. I learned a little things, learning a little bit more of the Caribbean countries all over. And somewhat they are similar to Jamaica. We are similar in our different ways. We have our unique stuff, but it is great. It is awesome. I learned a lot. It was very interesting.
It has been a pleasure representing Trinidad or even represent the Caribbean at any craft show at any time, because I've taken part in numerous craft shows throughout the region and I've represented, yeah.
I've done several shows throughout the Caribbean and this show has a really great variety of product, and I think this is one of the great things about the Caribbean. Every island has something a little distinctive about itself, and to me, to have so many artists and artisans and performers and the whole works in Barbados at one time is something for everybody in Barbados to come out to see. It's a treat to have so many Barbadian creative people in one location. And so I would say that in terms of the craft, there's a great variety. The culinary, the books, and then of course the performers. The performers are great. But here at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Conference Center is where I would encourage every Barbadian to take the time out. And it's not too expensive. I mean, you can get a season ticket for how many days it is? 10 days, just $50, or you can come in $10 per day. And there's so much to do. You can literally spend the whole day here, and entertainment goes right into the night. So you can come out and spend the whole day among Caribbean people. That is a great experience.
The day culminated at the Frank Collymore Center in Bridgetown with an exciting dance and drumming performance from Le Cadco, a Caribbean group of dancers and drummers based in Jamaica. There are still quite a few days left to enjoy this festival, so if you have not yet been to any of the events, be sure to visit one of the venues to check out what's happening.
And ahead in Newsline Sports, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots record their 5th victory in the CPL. Stay with us. Sports after the break.
Welcome to SwiftPack, your online shopping and shipping solution. Receive the best rates, expert cargo management, and exceptional customer service. SwiftPack provides secure handling of your smallest packages to your largest cargo with speed and reliability. We invite you to use our U.S. mailbox service, online shopping, ship air and ocean cargo from the supplier to your door. We handle it all for you. Get started now. Sign up for a free regular account or premium account, or give us a call on 440-6100. SwiftPack. You shop, we ship, you save.
After weeks of speculations and secret negotiations, it became official late last week. The Brazilian superstar Neymar took up official residence in the French capital of Paris, where he will now ply his trade for their team, Paris Saint-Germain. In the process, PSG paid what was the highest transfer fee in the history of that sport, 222 million euros. Neymar's contract, though, is for 5 years at 30 million euros per year.
Excuse me, I said I hear something about that comedy show. Right there.
It's all about Carrie Festa 2017!
Peoples, it's the Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th at the Sir Garfield Sober Gymnasium.
Mr. Smith,
What?
do you know that in my notes here, your wife calls you a perverted man?
How the hell my wife go call me a perverted man, boy?
I don't
treat that woman good, boy.
Mr. Smith, I don't know. Something about some, what, foul feathers?
Foul feather?
Yes, that you use on her.
Doctor, don't worry with she very kinky. Every time we lie down there, she want me to pass a foul feather on she back. Pass the foul feather, darling. Pass the foul feather. Foul feather she like.
No. That is not what she said happened, Mr. Smith.
What she say?
Hence the reason why she called you perverted.
You don't understand, doctor. After a while, one feather wasn't enough.
So what happened?
I use the old damn foul. The Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th, the Garfield Stolber's Gymnasium, peoples. Get your tickets from official box offices only.
Half centuries from Captain Chris Gayle and his opening partner Evan Lewis propelled informed St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots to a handsome 37-run victory over reigning champions Jamaica Tallawahs in their Caribbean Premier League at the Warner Park, St. Kitts Monday night. Gayle stroked an unbeaten 71 off 55 deliveries, while Lewis got 69 off 39 balls in a man-of-the-match effort as the hosts mustered 208 for 3 of their 20 overs, the highest total of this year's campaign. Mohamed Nabi and Carlos Brathwaite chipped in with cameos. The Afghan blasted 29 off 12 balls, and the Windies T20 captain belted 26 from 13 deliveries. Here are the highlights.
Sent into bat by Sangakkara, and it was the Lewis and Gayle show. Both these left-handers enjoying the 22 yards here at Warner Park on a Monday evening. Powerful. Bit of luck here for the captain. Should have been taken by Odin Smith. But Lewis, he continued on, and that flaying blade of his was all too evident to see for the fans here. Enjoyable opening stanza from the left-handed openers for the Patriots.
It was strong down the ground, and also when it was short, it went the distance. Lewis again being strong at the top of the order and giving the Patriots a real good base. He was quick on anything short, rocked on his back foot and put the ball away easily into the hill. And unfortunately, the second time this CPL, he manages to get one on the back of the bat. Good catch by the captain, Sangakkara, but it only brought Brathwaite, who showed a bit of deft touches and also with his red stick found the boundary as well.
Brutality from both ends. You've got Brathwaite and you've got Gayle. Left-hand, right-hand combo. And then he found Lendl Simmons just around the corner at square leg with Brathwaite. He hoped to continue, couldn't quite. And it brought Mohamed Nabi. Another cameo from the Afghanistani. Brilliant timing. A little flick of the wrist from Gayle. So strong downtown over long on or straight. 208 for 3 because of Gayle, Lewis, Nabi and Brathwaite. This was the end of Mohamed Nabi. And that was Brandon King downtown for a 6. Last ball of the innings.
And in reply, Tallawahs opener Trevon Griffith top scored with 42, while opening partner Glenn Phillips and all-rounder Rovman Powell both chimed in with 31. But the target proved outside their reach, and Tallawahs ended on 171 for 7 of their allotted 20 overs. Left-arm spinner Tabriz Shamsi was the best bowler with 3 for 35.
Just over 10s did the Talawaz.
And both Griffith and Phillips really gave them the platform. They were going at that required run rate. They were striking the ball really well, finding the boundaries regularly. It was Griffith that took his chances, put down there by Gale, and then continued on, showing that he has certainly got a lot of talent, but can he actually deliver on the big stage? And just when he started to get going, he missed out on a full banger and hit it straight to Lewis.
Yeah, they put on 64 for that first wicket. And Phillips going for it. He's a lovely clean striker. We've come to know very quickly here in the Hero CPL. Missed out, hit a six and then got out. And then Shamshi dialed in and said, listen, it's about time I started taking some more wickets. Ahmed Nadi got into it. Sangakkara, caught by Shamshi, couldn't keep him out of the game, the wrist spinner. Might have disappeared for a few maximums, but he got three very, very key wickets to Jabay Shamshi. Simmons was another one of those. And so was Jonathan Fu.
Yeah, and the wickets just kept coming. And you can't blame the Jamaican Talawaz because they were trying to ensure that they got close to that 208, but the damage was already done by Shamsi picking up 3 wickets. There's a couple of boundaries off Ben Hilfenhaus playing his first CPL match. And this one, you thought it was going to bring rain, and it just sailed over the boundary for a maximum. And McCarthy, the change in batting order didn't quite work. Badgery bowling the back end for a change instead of bowling all his 4 at the front. But again, the asking rate was just too much, regardless of how well Rothman Powell hit them. And you can see trying to go for the big one. Another good catch again. And whilst a couple of boundaries were at the end, they could only manage 171 for 7 off their 20 overs.
Over to football, Huddersfield Town head coach David Wagner has not ruled out Naki Wells leaving the new Premier League club before this month's transfer window closes, even though the 27-year-old Bermudan striker is recovering from an ankle operation. Wagner, who is open to any serious bids for Wells, said he had had an honest conversation with the player. Wells is in the final year of his contract. He recently had surgery for the ankle injury that has kept him sidelined since pre-season. Huddersfield have made a tremendous start to their season, their first in 45 years in the top flight in Wales' absence, and now sit second in the table behind Manchester United on goal difference after winning their opening 2 matches. Wales scored 10 goals in a 47 appearance last season. The previous season, he bagged 18 goals as a leading scorer and played a vital part in the club steering clear of the relegation zone for a final 19th place finish. And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Excuse me there. Listen, I hear something about that comedy show. Wait, really is. Wait,
It's all about Carrie Festa 2017!
Peoples, it's the Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th at the Sir Garfield Sober Gymnasium. ITM Fancy Cat from Jamaica, the legendary Larry Joseph from Trinidad and Tobago, and he's bringing along the new funny man, Kenneth Chinese Super Sad, with Dolores Alexander, the Drunken Saint, and Daryl Mendoza, and the daddy of all comedy daddies, Errol Fabian. And Guyana got to be there, people. They're bringing Jumbi and Odessa Primus. That's right. And bringing it home is Trevor Dynamite, Ismail Lafitar, Romeco, Queen Archibald Cox, and special guest Stiffy. General admission $65, and the IMF will be there. IMF Fingal is your MC. MC is mad and crazy. The Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th, the Garfield Stobers Gymnasium, people. Get your tickets from official box offices only.
Again, the major developments of this day: Belize moves to decriminalize marijuana. And in sport, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots record their 5th victory in the CPL with a win over the Jamaica Talawas. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to cornernews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.